Hello foodie friends, it's time for another scrap bag soup. As you can see, I've got another one full to the brim, so it is time. Now that's gonna make a really good budget vegan minestrone soup this time, and I'm really excited about this one because it has a really simple make your own vegan Parmesan cheese, which I think is gonna be really tasty with this soup. Now, as far as last week, as you know, we wrapped up our Should It Stay or Should It Go series, and as for last week, it's still here. I decided to keep this one. And I also kept Jamie at home and the food escapes. Now, as for the other three that had been in that video that I was in question about, those I decided to go ahead and donate. So I did actually make room in my cabinet, and I did clean out some cookbooks. So it wasn't a total loss. I kept 3 but donated 3. So let's go ahead and get started with this extreme budget soup and see how it's gonna taste. I kind of wanted to show you a better close-up view of what I've got in this scrap bag. You can see some celery. There's definitely some onions. I've got 3 different kinds. I got some tomatoes and asparagus. Let's see, I think, oh, there's some bell pepper. I've got some lemon scraps. So this, I think, is gonna make a very good soup, just like the last scrap bag. So let's go ahead and get this in the pot and get it started. I learned my lesson from the last time. So Dutch oven is staying over here, and I've got my giant soup pot out and ready. So we are not going to run out of room this time. And this is what we've got once we've opened the bag and poured out the contents. And this is a better view of what we got. You can see I've even got some zucchini and some squash. I also, at the bottom of the bag, found some potato peels. So we've got quite a good mix of stuff going on. Let's go ahead and get our water in there, and we will turn this up and let it stew. Now, I have a bit of an ulterior motive for picking this soup. When I was looking for soups, this one caught my eye because I basically had everything I already needed except for a can of cannellini beans. So that's all I had to buy in order to make this soup, which made that a win in my eyes. So let's go ahead. We're going to look around the house and gather up the rest of our ingredients. First up is carrots and celery. Then we're going to need an onion. Let's see, we've got 1 left in this bag, so let's go ahead and use this up first. We also need a bag of spinach. And you might have noticed that I've actually been growing another scrap bag. So this is gonna be, like I said before, the soup pot that never stops. Now we're also going to need green beans, which I think I still have some home canned green beans back here. There we go, 1 jar of green beans, and we're also going to need some pasta. I don't know, these little pumpkins are cute, but I don't know, I kind of think I want to save them for something a little bit more special. Let's go ahead and be good, and we will use up the rest of what we already have open. Now that should be everything. I've already pulled out what I need to do for the vegan cheese, and I've already got my spices. So we've got some garlic powder, we've got some cayenne, and our Italian seasonings, and of course, salt and pepper. Now, here's where I would normally do a montage of me chopping all of this and getting it ready for the soup pot. But a few days ago, I had some basil seeds that I needed to plant. I did a new method for me. I'd never tried it before, where you put seeds in wet paper towels and get them to germinate. And they did beautiful. So I filmed that, you know, how I planted it and how it looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you that instead. And then we will come back together when I've got these vegetables ready and we will see how this soup is doing. This is on a different day than when we're cooking, but I just wanted to show you something. So I wanted to start some basil this year because I'm going to actually be planting the basil in between my tomato plants. It's supposed to make your tomatoes taste a lot better. And I decided to go ahead. You'll see I've got some labeled. This is Prospera. This is Rutgers. And these two seeds that I ordered online are supposed to be bred specifically to be very disease resistant and good growers. So I wanted to go ahead and propagate some and see what we would get. Thai basil, these are some seeds I also got, are also supposed to be very disease resistant and hardy. So I tried some of that. And then we've got some of this. This is actually some spicy basil. I got those seeds also. And I'm not really sure, you know, if there's anything special in terms of like disease resistance or not. I just wanted to try it and see if it would taste any different. And you can kind of see that there are actually some germination going on with these seeds. So we need to pull these out of the paper towel. Now, I've never actually used this method before, but it was highly successful with this basil. But we need to go ahead and pull them out so that they don't rot with the, you know, continuous moisture that's in this bag. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in these little greenhouses that I got from the Dollar Tree. So let's go ahead, open these babies up, put them in here, and see what happens. I'm a little bit nervous because I tend to be very klutzy. And I'm not really good with fine, delicate work. So yeah, let's just see how many we can pull off and how successful I'm going to be at this. So I think we're done. I think that went way better than I expected. You will notice that I was actually tearing the paper towel around the little seed and the seedling to put it in the soil. And that's because the root had actually grown into the paper towel and I did not want to rip the root. So I just went ahead and put paper towel and all in the soil, which made it a lot easier. Mostly because it gave you something to hold on to, and the paper towel will degrade in the soil, so I'm not worried about that. That'll be fine. They look really good in here. I'm excited to see how they're going to, you know, come up and kind of start getting a little bit stronger and pushing towards the light. I do want to say that this Prospera and this Rutgers, if you're wanting something that is a really good germinator, I think these two are it. I did 4 seeds and 4 seeds germinated of each one. So that's 100% for me, which is really, really good. The Thai basil was also really good. I did 4 seeds of that. 3 did leaves, and a 4th one actually was shooting a little root out of the seed. I was assured by the internet that you could go ahead and plant that, you know, as soon as the little root starts to come out. So I did that kind of as an experiment to see if he will actually push out of the ground. As far as the spicy basil, I did 3 seeds and 3 of them actually was shooting a root out. So again, I went ahead and planted those since the root was already coming out, and they should be fine. And that's it for the seeds. I'll keep you posted, and hopefully they will grow big and strong and I'll be able to put them out in my garden with my tomatoes. But for now, let's go ahead and return to our cooking. I've had this simmering now for a little bit over an hour, so I think we might be ready to pull these vegetables out so we can start adding the vegetables in that we are actually going to eat. As you can see, I've got everything ready, and I almost forgot the zucchini, but I remembered it just in time. Now, you'll notice that I actually went ahead and took the skin off of the zucchini. You do not have to do that. I only did that because I had it in the refrigerator for a couple of days and the skin got a little bit crinkly on me. So I thought, you know, maybe go ahead and take that off. But the fruit itself was still good and still firm. So I went ahead and did that, and I think we are ready to add that to this pot, and then we will season it. We will go ahead and add the macaroni in there along with the vegetables, so that macaroni will go ahead and soak up that good vegetable broth, and then we'll go ahead and add our beans and spinach. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right, I've got this carefully cleaned out. This is going to be composted so it will not go to waste. And I'm going to go ahead and carefully pour these vegetables into the soup pot. And we're going to go ahead and add our macaroni. I'm also going to go ahead and season this with our Italian seasonings and salt and pepper, and we will let this simmer until soft. And as for the seasonings, there are measurements on the blog that I will be putting in the description box below where I got this recipe. But you know me, I'm just going to go ahead and eyeball it and do it to taste. This is starting to look like soup. You can see our noodles are getting nice and plump and cooked. So I think it's time to go ahead and add our spinach and our beans. We'll go ahead and get that heated through. I've got this to take out to the compost. I've got some scraps that need to go into a bag in the freezer. And I've also got some walnuts roasting in my toaster oven right now. So we will go ahead and make our vegan cheese. So we've got a lot to do. Let's go ahead and get on it. This soup is finally ready. It looks and smells wonderful. And by the way, our vegan cheese really smells good too. Those walnuts are really shining through this. And I almost forgot our toast, but I turned the air fryer off just in time. I think it looks really good, so I think we're okay on that. We're gonna go ahead, plate this up, and then we are going to do our taste test. All right, we're finally ready to start this, so let's dig in. It smells good.
Yeah, looks hot.
It is very hot, so be very careful.
It's good.
Yeah, I think so too. It's every time we make this broth, it's just different. I don't know how to explain it.
It's a completely different flavor than last time, like the last
yes
vegetable soup we made.
Well, and I forgot to tell you guys earlier, but I actually found some apple peel even in that scrap bag. So, I mean, this was a really... This was an eccentric bag of scraps to be making broth out of, but it works.
Yeah, it's still a really good, like, base. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of still ties everything together real well.
I love the beans in it.
Yeah.
In this soup. I don't know if I've ever made minestrone before. I know that sounds crazy, given all the soups, like, I've made over the years. Probably some incarnation of it, I would say. But yeah, this is really tasty. Yeah. Warm, comforting, just full of flavor.
Yeah.
You know, and you can really play with a soup like this because you can add a lot of things that you might want to, like extra seasonings and stuff like that. But I do like this version of it a lot.
Yeah, it's very good.
Now, as for the vegan cheese, I think we can all safely say that we know it's not Parmesan.
Yeah.
We know it's not. However, I don't not like it.
No, yeah, it's fun. Like, there's nothing... I mean, I can't say that, like, it's worse than Parmesan cheese.
Right, that's what I was thinking, too. Like, you can't... I mean, it adds a good flavor to it.
Right.
So, I think if you are vegan or if you're getting lactose intolerant, trying to give up cheese has been the worst. All the rest of the dairy, I don't care. I mean, I don't need milk. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. But cheese, So, yeah, I mean, to be able to say that, yeah, I can take this.
We can add some flavor to it.
Yeah, I would be fine with this. Yeah. Then, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good find.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say the cheesy flavor of it is closer to cheddar than it is to Parmesan.
Yeah,
it's more like a cheddar with a nuttiness to it. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's still a good flavor addition to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And as far as the soup goes, I like the fact that, again, we're using up our scraps. So we're reducing food waste. We're going to compost, you know, the other ones. So that reduces even more. But even if you can't, you know, if you don't have a compost, you're still utilizing them again.
Right.
You know, so that's a good thing. And you're getting a really tasty soup out of it. So I think this is like a win-win recipe.
Definitely.
All the way around.
Yeah.
Also, it's pretty cheap to make.
Yeah.
You know, these are not expensive vegetables. As far as the cannellini beans, I got it for 45 cents at Aldi.
Right.
You know, so there's hardly anything that goes into the making of this soup, which makes it an excellent budget-friendly recipe. But
you get a ton of it.
Oh my gosh, we still have... Some of this is going to have to go to my parents.
Yeah.
This is a lot of soup, which they're not going to complain. They'll be happy about it, so that's fine. But yeah, this is a soup that you might want to share if you're one person, or at least put half of it in the freezer for later because you're not going to be able to eat all that. But that's a ton of food for next to nothing.
Right.
And it tastes good and it's filling.
Yeah.
So that's a really good thing. Put some crusty bread with it, you got a meal, you're done.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's a win.
Another bag of those scraps done and turned into a really good soup. So really hope you try this one. And as far as next week, we don't know yet.
Nope.
Yeah, we've been debating about it because well, most of you know, I've got some really weird cookbooks that we haven't even done yet that I've been getting on eBay and everything. So it might be one of those. Might be something else. I don't know. Maybe we'll just throw a dart and just see where it lands.
Blindfolded.
Right. So thank you for watching this week. We hope you stick around for next week, whatever that's going to turn out to be. And we'll see you then. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.